some of your favorite memories from working here?
Well, I think it'd have to be just the variety of work. No 2 days were ever the same. It was always fun when the spring came and you opened the park, and it was always kind of fun in the fall when you shut it back down. And it's a big rush in the summertime. It's just, you know, all hands on deck all the time. The people, we had great people, which I still do, I'm sure, but it was just a big family up here. Everybody was willing to help everybody. I would go out and sell tickets, and on days I would go out and take pictures for season pass. If somebody needed help, we would all just go do it. You realize how much you miss it. It was a fun place to work, and I've always said I never regretted coming to work. It was always fun to come in and be here. No 2 days were the same. The things, the experience you had with people, just really. Well, it just made the day, every day was different, because people would do, when we had Lion Country Safari, the drive-through in 1974, people would get out of their cars in the lion area to go pet them. And you know, you'd say they're wild animals, they'll eat you, they're not going to be petted. And the year we had the safari, we spent about $11,000 buying tires for people who the lions would bite their tires. And I always thought people would put bacon grease or something on the tires and make them bite them, and they never bit a cheap tire. It was always an expensive tire.
Tell us about your journey to come work at King's Dominion.
Well, I was with a steel company in Ohio. It was obvious that steel was going to go overseas, and I just happened to say to our auditors, if you happen to hear of any good jobs, let me know what they are. And they called and said, are you interested in going to Richmond? Well, I thought they meant Richmond, Indiana, and that was, you know, 60 miles from where we lived. And I said, sure. And they said, well, Taft is going to build a park there. And so I went down to Kings Island for my interview and found out it was Richmond, Virginia. And I had been in public accounting and had a client down here, so I was not unfamiliar with the state. So we came down here. Our oldest son was 2 years old. We'd been married 3.5 years. And my wife said, you know, if you want to go, let's go. So here we are.
Tell us how the Rebel Yell got its name.
I did it. We were sitting around, a bunch of us, trying to name the rides. It was just being built, and somehow I just said, well, let's call it the Rebel Yell. And everybody said, that's not a bad idea. So it's the Rebel Yell. The only thing I can claim to fame is that I named the Rebel Yell. The thing I'm most excited is the clown band. I always felt bad that we didn't have that anymore. It was just a lot of fun. I had first seen it in Kings Island, and it was really fun to have it run. They were just crazy guys going around, and I'm an old tuba player, so I watched the tuba player all the time, and they just had a good time. They would always go out and pick a girl out of the audience and go up and serenade her, and she was always very blushy and all that stuff. And they just had a good time doing what they did. And I just think I'm really excited about that the most.
Has it been neat to hear the stories and see people getting excited about these things that used to be in the park years ago? Yeah,
it has, because a lot of people never saw them. Particularly the younger people. You know, the clown band has been going 20 years probably. And a lot of people don't even know don't even recognize it was ever here. So yeah, it is kind of fun to see it, and people saying, "Gosh, they're bringing that back. They're doing that." You really ought to come back and see, particularly if you weren't here in the early years, to see some of the stuff that we had, and clown band and the mushrooms and all. That's just fun to see all the stuff.